In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Star Wars The Vintage Collection 212 Phase 2 Clone Trooper 4-pack. Hey Star Wars collectors, and welcome to another Bossk's Bounty video. And as I mentioned in the intro, we're going to be taking a look at this 212 Clone Trooper 4-pack. It's one of these white boxes that they're doing now, supposedly to army build, which we will get into a little bit later on. But let's just take a look at the packaging. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get straight into this. So it's one of these white boxes that we're all quite familiar with now. Some of you may not buy these because they're not on a card, but if you're a loose collector, they're very, very handy. Wasn't too sure about the price of this one, but there you go. And as you can see, it's got the black and white sort of artwork on the front, as we're used to, with a tiny bit of colour. And in this case, they've got like a mustardy yellow. They've toned it down. Obviously, the figures themselves are more of like a bright orange for the 212th, but for the packaging, they've like toned that down ever so slightly. You can see there that they're all Phase 2 Clone Troopers, but this one in particular has got the little marking on the helmet because that is Waxer, the commander basically, or captain, whatever rank he is. Someone let me know in the comments section below what rank he is. There you go, there's the back of the pack. So basically they're the four that you're getting, and it's just showing you that you can army build them on the front. Vintage Collection logo on the top. Nothing else really going on apart from a load of warnings and legal mumbo jumbo. Hasbro logo at the bottom there. I do like these boxes. We've got plenty of these now, and it is a good way of getting, you know, lots of the same figure. Anyway, if you do happen to enjoy the video, don't forget to drop a like down below. And with all that being said, let's get into this. And very quickly, before we get the figures out of their packaging, this is what they look like inside. You can see the baggies are marked A, B, C and D, and they're kind of like waxy packets basically. So let's get them open. Alright then, so here they are out of the packaging, all lined up together, and I've got to say they look pretty awesome. First of all, I'm going to address the helmet situation, and I'm going to talk about that once and once only in the video because I don't want to be harping on about it for the rest of the video. So yes, I would have much preferred it had these been based on the 212th Battalion from Revenge of the Sith, which means they would have had the black sort of stripe around the helmet, very much like they did with the new Phase 2 clone from Andor. Even though the helmet isn't great and it's still a little bit oversized and it's just not a very good sculpt and the visor's too thin and things like that, I still would have preferred it if they'd put that black band around there. But they haven't, so we've got to live with it. And unfortunately for Hasbro, had they done that, I would have bought more than just the one set. I would have purchased maybe 3 or 4 sets to have lots of these sort of standard troopers. And then maybe instead of Waxer, they could have included maybe like an airborne trooper or something. That would have been my ultimate sort of battle pack. That would have been awesome. They didn't do that, and that's all I'm going to say. But we're going to just concentrate on what we have got and how good they look. And I do think they look pretty good. I love the 212th Battalion. It's not my favourite battalion. I do prefer the 501st, but the 212th is a close second for me. I do like them. As you can see, 3 of the 4 are exactly the same. They are your standard 212th Clone Troopers. They all come with the small blaster, and they also come with these larger rifles here. 2 of them, in fact. I think that's a DC-15, correct me if I'm wrong. And the one that they've got in their hand is what, a DC-15 carbine? I've probably got that wrong, but that's what I'm saying for this video. As you can see, those 3 are exactly the same. They are identical. The paintwork and everything is identical. What I do like is that Waxer's paint apps are different in terms of the design. You can see on his legs, his knee pads are painted orange, whereas these guys have more of a stripe. You can see he doesn't have the stripe at the top of the leg armour, whereas the others do. His codpiece is also painted differently as well. That one has a sort of a bigger marking on it. That has a marking just underneath the belt. His chest armour is pretty much the same. You have that triangle sort of coming down from the neck and then the side armour as well. But also his arms are different as well. The arms on the troopers have this larger paint scheme going on, whereas he doesn't have that. He has that sort of line that's going around the edge of it. And also the shoulders as well. The shoulders of the standard trooper have got a larger paint apps, whereas Waxer's got more of a stripe going down the middle. We will have a look at the sides of them and compare them in a second, but I just wanted to show you all the different paint apps between the figures. The head sculpt, of course, on Waxer is different. It is another Temuera Morrison sculpt. He's got a little goatee and also a little bit of a moustache as well. Amazing paint apps. Just looking at him right now in front of me, as I've said before, this particular head sculpt that they've used for all these Boba Fett's and everything is just incredible. It's so, so good, especially when it hasn't got any hair like that one as well. I just think it looks so lifelike. For something so small, I think they've absolutely nailed it. We will get a closer up look at him in a second. Apart from that, obviously the helmet for Waxer is different. He has a different paint scheme on the helmet. I will compare them in a second, but he also has his little insignia on the front and also some kill scores as well, which he also has on his shoulder, which I'll show you right now. So there's just a quick side profile of the two figures so you can see the differences on the paint apps for the arms and the shoulders. You can see he's got his kill scores on his shoulder, and the paint apps on the back of the figure are different as well. You can see on Waxer the orange paint comes all the way down to the bottom of the ankle, whereas the standard clone doesn't. He also has that stripe going around the knee area, which this one doesn't. Apart from that, the rest of it looks similar. His back looks similar. Obviously the backs of the arms, his elbow pads are painted, whereas this one isn't. And then of course, as I mentioned, the shoulders of Waxer have more of a stripe down the center of them. So let's concentrate on Waxer to begin with. You can see that little emblem on his helmet there, and all of his kill counts on the side of the helmet. They look pretty decent, and there they are on the shoulder as well. So really intricate detail, and then the figure looks pretty awesome as well. And there he is without the helmet on, super close up of that head sculpt and the paint apps. Now of course this is a super close up, so you are going to see all of the tiny weeny details that are used to construct that paint app for the head. But of course, if you move it back ever so slightly, then you get to see it in all its glory, basically. Awesome figure, really, really like it. I mean, of course, I really do like this new Phase 2 clone body, which I'm sure they'll use for Phase 1s eventually as well. The articulation is amazing. I think the proportions are much better. The legs especially, he hasn't got those silly long chicken legs anymore. So, you know, you can actually believe there is a human being in that armor, and I think it's great. I said I wasn't going to mention it again, but I'm just going to plonk that on, and there you can see that is the issue. I wish that these were Revenge of the Sith. I said I wasn't going to mention it, and I did, but never mind. But as I say, it's great to have a 4-pack of these. They are going to look great in a collection. If you had an army of them, it'd be awesome. If you're into the Clone Wars, then you are absolutely going to love this set, of course, because it is based on the Clone Wars. It's Waxer and his 212ths. I'm just going to bring in one of the other 212ths so you can see the paint apps on that. It's your standard clone head. We've had that one loads of times before now. And we'll just put one of the helmets on this guy. There you go. I would say that the helmet may be a slightly brighter white than the sort of off-white colour of his body, but it is hardly noticeable in hand. The camera and the lights might make it a bit more obvious to see, but as I say, in hand it's difficult to really see that. This one does have more of an off-white leg there compared to this one. You can see, I don't know if you can see that on the camera. And you know, I think with all of these 4-packs, I think, you know, because you're getting 4 of the same figure all at once, rather than, you know, on your card back and then comparing it with maybe another one that's on the shelf, or comparing it with one that your friend's got or whatever. When you've got 4 of the same figure in the same pack, then of course you are going to see these subtle differences between them, because not every figure that comes off the production line is going to be exactly the same in every way. In terms of articulation, he has the double barbell head, neck joint, so you get lots of range of motion there. He has the hinge at the shoulder with the soft vinyl shoulder pad, which doesn't get in the way, which is great. Obviously that's going to go all the way around. He has the hinges at the elbows, which go just about past 90. He has hinge and swivels at the wrist. We have the ball on the torso and also a split at the waist, so you get some swivel on that waist. We have the new style hips with those barbells in there. Thigh cut on the armor, which helps with movement. We have a knee hinge there, and we have a hinge and rocker on the ankle. All right then, so here they are once again, all lined up in some poses for you. This is the 212th Phase 2 Clone Trooper 4-pack from the Vintage Collection. In general, I like them. I do like the fact that we are getting Phase 2 Clone Troopers in Army Builder 4-packs. At the end of the day, in this pack, we are getting 3 standard 212 Clone Troopers. I've already said before in this video what I don't like about what they've done with these, but in general I still like them, and I like the new body that they're using for these clones. I think it's a lot more realistic. I'm sure you guys have got lots to say about this 4-pack, and I'm always interested to know your thoughts, so leave those thoughts in the comment section below. I always read my comments, and hopefully I'll be able to reply to you as well. I want to thank you all for watching, and thank you to my Patreon supporters and channel members. Your support means a great deal to me as always, so thank you so much. Thanks for watching everybody, and we shall see you on the next one.